So, welcome you all for the today's session of 3D Experience SolidWorks to manage your design anywhere, anytime, on any device. Myself, Asutosh Singh Rajput, I am working as an application engineer at Engineering Technique. Let me just introduce to our model. Just a minute, yeah. So, in this webinar, we will take the example of extruder machine. All of you have a front row seat to watch the team take on the final design and manufacturing challenges by leveraging the limitless capability of SolidWorks and 3D Experience platform. So throughout this story, you will see the precision collaboration highlighted between core design, engineer, manufacturing and project management teams, all showcased through the 3D Experience platform. So let's meet the team first. So here is the Asutosh, who is a project manager. Whether it is managing issues and change action or leading the efficient team meeting, Asutosh is there to keep everything on the track and moving toward the common goal. Yagnik is the certified SolidWorks professional. He knows all the in and outs of SolidWorks 3D CAD design. Our second design engineer is Jamin, who has the specialty in complex assembly, who is working on the he will going to working on the assemblies. And the Rohit is a team manufacturing engineer. His responsibilities includes overseeing all in-house manufactured parts along with the working with the outside manufacturing suppliers and vendors. So whenever I talking about the new projects, it all start with the meetings. Right. Once the meeting conclude, we define to part and assembly designs. Once the part and assembly designs completed, we go for the any issues available, issue and change management. If there is any issue available, we get back and create revisions to it. After that, we will create some marketing content for project completion. So we will start with the meetings. When it comes to meetings, keeping individuals on track while efficiently and effectively collaborating as a team can be a difficult task, especially with more and more employees finding themselves working remotely. Having well-rounded contribution from meeting attendees are how problems are solved, and the 3D Lean helps do just that. So let's see how Asutosh and his team, Yagnik and Jamin, can make the best use of their time as they jump into 3D Lean team meeting. So Asutosh starts his day by logging into 3D Experience platform through his web browser. He accessing the company's customized dashboard. He spends a few minutes and to review and collaborative community, which a much more intuitive way to share and communicate his co-workers. In this community, people can not only share the post, but he can share the wiki vision, knowledge based idea of the new designs. If there are any questions, they can also post each other questions. Also the completed 3D models. These 3D models can be opened within the community through the 3D Player app, in which we can rotate, we can measure, we can export the assembly if we wanted. So all the things which is related to the e-drawings can be possible in this 3D Play app. So now it is a time for the about this week meeting. Asutosh just navigate to the team meeting tab on his dashboard, where the Yagnik and Jamin have logged in remotely and working to contribute. So he just started by creating the problems, right? So the first action which needed to create the frame design. So he started the problem by mentioning the create the extruder frame. Once he create the problem, he can drag and drop sticky notes, and the same thing will be visualized by the other team members. Right. Now the next thing is to add actions to overcome this problem. So here Asutosh is going to add the actions and adding the some keywords so that assigning can understand what are the steps to overtake this problem. So here Asutosh can assign individual to this particular action. So first action has been created, assigned. Now the next thing is to create the second. The other thing which we are going to see is to hopper. How the design engineer create the hopper with the 3D Experience SolidWorks. So he has created the problem regarding the hopper and adding the same things. Again he is repeating the sequence of adding Yagnik as a assigning and adding the keywords so that Yagnik can understand what the task he has to do. So the team agrees to get started on this part on the design. Asutosh navigates over the team action log where each nodes which have been created in the previous board has been populated. In this action plan, as per last meeting, these are the things which has been completed. So we just move on to the done zone. Now the populated nodes has been moved to the tomorrow zone. So Lean Team board is not limited to action, but you can see the status of the identified problem. Not only that, but you can also move on the records to the if it is completed. Apart from that, you can also add the PDFs as a reference documents. As you can see over there, I have added the gearbox design calculation PDF for the reference to the design engineers. Also, they can add the websites like this. I have added 3D content centers, which is related to design engineers, KPI charts, as well the media links. Right, you can add the media links as well for your products. So now the design Asutosh has added the collaborative task, right? The task which everything you can share in the Lean Team player meeting, whether it is video, model, Excel file or other content, can be marked up and added to the task at least, which make the positive impact on the designer's daily task. Here the 3D Lean board can be customized for all sort of discussion, including identity and sketch. Asutosh navigate over the board for the upper design, where Yagnik adding the input from his tablet. As you can see, Yagnik has added some inputs which directly available for the Asutosh without any third-party screen sharing application. So he is creating some sketch for the reference of his hopper design. Also, he has to mention that the bearing, motor bearing and reducer is already completed. So he has added the sticky notes related to it. So now, before the team start these changes, Asutosh will need to get a final approval. So 3D Lean capture all the relevant information from this meeting in a one spot and can be organized into a simple to follow presentation format for playback or to prepare for the upcoming meetings, just like our PowerPoint presentations. So keeping meeting collaborative and concise with the 3D Lean help Asutosh and his team to stay engaged and encourage contribution, all while efficiently using each meeting attendance time. So now, the task has been assigned to the users. Let's see the 3D Experience SolidWorks used a powerful 3D modeling capabilities for every level of designer to create manufacturable component and assemblies. So let's see how Yagnik uses the intuitive tool of 3D Experience SolidWorks to create required parts. So Yagnik will start the thing by moving the action nodes to tomorrow to today and go to his collaborative task apps in his dashboard, where he is able to see all the tasks assigned to him and owned by him. He has started by dragging the first task to do work to in work. So the status can be notified to all the stakeholders related to this task. He has just launched the SolidWorks Connected, in which we have the traditional functionality of the SolidWorks with the cloud functionality. So here he started with the creating part in which he is going to create base frame. So when I am talking about the sketch, everyone thinking about the 2D sketch in which we are creating the sketch by plan. Plan we are sketching one sketch, in the other plan we are creating other. But in SolidWorks we have the 3D sketch functionalities. By using this we can not only creating the sketch in the one specific plan, but we can continue to creating the sketch at the specific location. As you can see in my screen, with the smart on-screen inputs and some relations, he has created the base, but the next thing is to add the other geometries. So there is no need to add any other plans. He just continues working on that particular part. So once he added all the geometry, the next task is to fully define all the things. So he is starting with the dimensioning all the distance which are remaining, and in the some cases we have to add some relations, as he is going to add here with the along x. Now the last thing is remaining is to add the top base. Now he has added the top base, but to make sure it is fully defined, he has to add the dimension of his height. So he has just added the dimension. So now the 3D sketch is been completed. So next thing is to add structures. So with 3DEXPERIENCE SolidWorks, you can add the structures of any kind of shape by using structure member. Here he is selecting the one by one all the related edges and locating the profile, so he can maintain the dimension of his frame. Now the next step is to adding the remaining sections as well and locating his profile. So as you can see, after creating it is all the frames and structure has been created with the cut list available. Now the next thing is to apply materials. So materials is utilized not only to seeing the what kind of visual purpose, but it is also available for the mass properties, so we can measure the weight of the component. So here he is applying the material. Now the next task is to add the plates at the top. So with the shortcut bar, he can easily access all the tools related to his sketch and features at its mouse pointer. Now the second plate has to be added in the bottom as well. So he has again follow the same things by creating the rectangle and applying the relative thickness to this plate. Now the other thing which was mentioned in his problem log is to add the barrel support. So he needs to add two sections. So he added the two geometries over there, and the next task is to fully define them. So he has fully defined all the geometries and added the structure members with the various standard available. He is choosing the 100 by 100 section over there, so it will compatible for his design. So once the sketch has been completed, all the models has been added, structures has been added, the next thing is to save this particular component to the cloud, so that the Jamin who is working on the assembly can access it. So we started with the saving these things on the cloud, which can specify various details, like if he has to add some notes in during his saving time, he can add, just like that. Here he is adding the base plan has been completed, and clicking save, it will directly save it to his respective collaborative space. Also, we can also work on the maturities as well, as right now he has completed his work, so he can change his maturity from in work to freeze zone, so that any user can able to see, and if is there any changes, he can get back to in work zone. Now, as the part is completed, Yagnik has added the message to in the issue, so all the stakeholder get the notification of the same that he has created the frame. Right now, the next task is to creating hopper design. Previously, Yagnik has created same kind of hopper, so he can utilize it. So he started by opening the previously created hopper. He can simply search in the SolidWorks content, so you will get the relative part and click on open. Here he see that the geometric is related to his required part, so he can save this component as a new part. So he is starting with the saving this component or copying it with the new name, which is feed open new. Once he save the component, the next task is to change the dimensions. So he will start it by changing the dimension so that the volume of the hopper can be changed, and he get the exact the volume which he required for this extruder design. So starting by changing the length of 325 to 310, and again there is a changes in above length as well. So once he changed, he has created the configuration as well, in which he can measure the volume of this hopper. So by utilizing mass properties and the configurations, he can able to identify what is the exactly amount of material can be added in this particular hopper. So the hopper has been created. The next task is to save these changes to the cloud. So starting with the saving the changes, there is a multiple options available, as you can see. Now he has just locked this hopper so that nobody can access this particular component while he is working with it. As it is saved, the next thing is to change its maturity to freeze. Now the task has been completed for the hopper, so he just go back to his task and move it to invert, so that if there is any changes occur, he will be editing. So he just mentioning the comment that he has created the hopper and send it to all the stakeholders, who is also. Now as the part design completed, now the next task is to assembly design. So in the 3DEXPERIENCE SolidWorks, with the collaborative environment, during as a time the Yagnik is working with the hopper, Jamin has already started his assembly by using base frame. So let's see how it is happened. Yagnik is working with the hopper. Meanwhile, Jamin got the notification by Asutosh, in which he get the message that he has to create the assembly. So he just open his assigned task and see the details, where he find out that create the extruder assembly. Once he got the message from Yagnik, here he got the message from the Yagnik that he has completed the base frame, so he can start on his part. So he's starting by moving the task to invert state. Here he has just opened the base frame which was created by previously Yagnik, right? He is starting with the creating the new assembly. So he just select the make a new assembly component and add the particular frame on it. So he has added the base frame. Now the next thing is to searching for the other assemblies as well. So he is searching for the gearbox assembly, which can be filtered out by the assemblies option. So you can easily access the gearbox assembly. Now the next thing is to applying mats. So in SolidWorks, you can apply the mats with a very more flexible way. Not only the standard mat like the coincident, parallel, etc. But you can also utilize the advanced mat and mechanical mats. So here he can using the collaborative component preview window. So there is no need to go for the other parts. He can apply the mats side by side. As you can see over there, he is applying and selecting the face, which is more easier for him to applying mats. Again, he has to add the width mats between these two faces as well. So he is just selecting these two faces. As you can see, it is really simpler when he working with the component preview window. The last mat is required to add the constant mat between base plate and the bottom of the gearbox assembly. So once he added all the things, the next task is to add the barrel assembly, which was created by him recently. So again, he go for the insert component browse and searching for the required assembly. So here screw barrel assembly available. He just added it again with the quick toolbar available for the matting system. He can utilize it and added some required mats. So with starting with the positioning it, he just go for the mats, start of the concentric mat. The next thing he has to do is to applying the constant match between the flange and the gearbox face. So he is just selecting the two faces with the quick matte toolbar, which suggests all kind of mattes possible for his particular two faces. This quick matte toolbar is not only suggesting you multiple mattes, but by default he is choosing the best possible mattes available. For example, he is choosing between these two circles. All the mattes related to his are available there. So here he has created the assembly which is the gearbox and the barrel, but he is able to identify there is some gaps available between barrel support and barrel assembly. Before he do anything else, he just save the assembly with the title extruder new. So meanwhile Yagnik has completed the hopper part. So he has messaged the Jamin that he has completed the hopper part. So let's see how Jamin will work with that as well. So Jamin has started by adding the barrel support to minimize the gap between those two assembly and structure. So here one more mat is needed, is width mat between the barrel support and the gap available between these two components. So he has simply added all the mats one by one by utilizing quick mat toolbar. So it is also completed. So let him just save all the things. Now there is a gap, still there is a gap available. So this assembly this base frame required the revision. So while doing the same, he got the message that Yagnik has completed hopper. So you can utilize this hopper and edit the hopper into this assembly to see that if the hopper has any revision required or not. So starting by opening the hopper into the assembly and giving the required mats. So during the whole workflow, all the mats has been assigned by using the quick mats toolbar, which will give the more flexibility to the user to add the mats without going to the mats command manager. So now he has restrict the rotating movement, and the next thing is to add the constraint mat between the barrel and the hopper. As it is completed and there is a revision required, he starting by saving the latest version to the cloud and added the message to all the stakeholders that there will need to require the revision for the base frame. Here in this comment section we can also take the particular persons who is going to check related to the base frame related query. So he has also added the Rohit Kuril, who is the production manager, who can give the valuable inputs for this base frame. So we have completed the part design, then assembly design. The next thing is to issue and change management. So whether it is logging manufacturing concern from the shop floor or problem submitted by the end of customer, capturing critical issues key to evolving our design and our productivity. With the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, simplify how these issues are captured, reported and tracked can be dramatically streamlined in this process. So we will start with the team. Let's check in the team and see what happened when the Rohit identify the possible issue and review them and assign this issue to be resolved. We will starting with the getting input from the Rohit, and we will see how the designer can utilizing this workflow and make the required changes. So Rohit had login into his dashboard where he has added the product structure explorer app, in which he is not only seeing the component structure but he can identify where the component he has been using. Now he has added the assembly into his 3D markup app where he can add various tools he can utilize various tools to mark up the particular issues. So starting with the side view, and the next thing is to create the new markup with the proper description. So here I added the description that extruder frame issue. Now the issue is related to height of the structure, so we can add the measures callouts as well. So starting with the adding the text callout first, where he can add the some things which is can add the proper definition of the issue, that the change the dimension as per the barrel support. The next thing is to add the length. So here he is adding the length so that the designers can identify exactly which length he is talking about. The next thing is to add the support of the gusset. So you can utilizing all the tools available in the Markup apps and adding the comments according to it. So as he has created all the markups, the next thing is to generate the issue. With the generating issue, he can add the resolution recommendation as well. As you can see on my screen, there is the title which is already available via our markup title and the description. The next thing is to add the further more details. So here he can add the resolution recommendation that you can add the gusset and change the mentioned length. That might solve this issue. The priority is urgent because they have to complete the projects as early as possible. As you can see, the contents are already added by default. The affected item is brace frame from this assembly. Here in the member section, Kuril Rohit is already assigned as the owner because he is creating the issue. He can add the co-owners as well because the Asutosh, who is the manager, he is going to assign the relative person to solve this issue. So as Rohit identified the possible issue, and now we will see how Asutosh can manage, review and assign this issue to be resolved. So let's start it with the Asutosh who get the notification from Rohit. So you just click on that particular issue which was created by Rohit Kuril in his issue management tab. With the issue management tab, he can get all the information related to the issue. Either the issue is in the to-do stage, draft stage, who is the handling the which issue. Here he is able to see the markup which can be opened in the 3D markup app. So he has the clearly vision that where is the changes required and what are the problems are available there. So he has just go through all the markups details, and now he has to assign his design engineer. So we go to the content where he is able to find out all the things done and assign the particular member. For this case, he has to assign the Yagnik Patel, who is handling the base frame. So he just simply assign to the member. Now the Yagnik get the notification in his system. So here Yagnik got the notification that he has assigned some new issue which is related to his base frame. So he just go through the app and see what are the content affected by this. So he started by going to contents where he is find out the content with the base frame which is affected by this and which is used by extruder new assembly. So he just drag and drop the assembly to his SolidWorks connected window where he just roll back all the features from the starting. So one by one he is checking all the parts who is affected during the process. So he just changes required part thickness. Here for the bottom base plate, he is just changing the thickness from 10 to 1.5, and then there is a 3D sketch available he needs to change all the 3D sketch dimensions because they are related to base frame. So he started by changing the length from top face of the plate to end of the line, which is 900. Now there is one more thing is required to add the barrel and one more support structure. So he just simply added the one more line over there and exit the sketch. Now he just put down one more feature where he is able to find out that trim and extend command is no more used. So he just deleted that command and added the tube structure again to add the one more structure in this feature. So now all the things are added. The next thing is to add the gussets. So he is simply adding the gusset and applying the required dimensions and the thickness for that gusset. As you can see, it is very simple to add any kind of gusset in your structure system. You just need to be select the two faces and all the gussets has been added. The same thing he has to add on the other part as well. Now he has added all the things. At the top of the face he see that there is one plate required on which the barrel support can add. So he is just starting with adding the end cap at the end of the support with the required thickness and the corner treatment which is available for it on the board structure system. Now as the base frame is completed, he just created the new revision in which he can mention the what are the reason why he has created the new revision, and he has added that the gusset and change in the barrel support structure as a comment. Now he has created the base frame and it is finalized by the users. The next thing is to create a drawing. So he started by creating drawing from the window and selecting the required sheet format. Here from the view plate they can able to drag and drop any standard views as per their requirement, and with the drawing view settings they can apply the scales as well. Now in this component we need to add the weldment cut list. As you can see, within a single clicks we can get all the description, length, quantity for the relative components. Also we can add the auto balloonings so that the production guy who is taking this drawing can understand which item is placed at where position. So now as it is completed, he just simply save all the things to the cloud. Now as he has completed, he just set this issue to the approval stage where the Asutosh get the notification of the same thing. Here let's again move toward the things where Asutosh had defined the issue notification and forward it to Jamin Chawla, who is handling the assembly. Here Jamin has opened the assembly. As the base frame changes, automatically changes are populated in his new assembly. Here he can see that all the things are at its position as per requirement. So the next thing is to copy the part. With the smart mats available in the SolidWorks, he can simply drag and drop the one face over the other face and apply the relative mats with the one single command. So he has added the barrel support over here. Now he can see that is it proper or not. So he has added the width mat to add this component at the center of that structure. So now it is working, looking fine. Then he has added the other assemblies as well. After adding all the assemblies, he is just saving the extruder assembly to the cloud. So by using 3DEXPERIENCE platform, it is simple to raise the issue which was done by Rohit in the shop floor. Ashutosh was able to quickly respond with it, and from the Yagnik dashboard, reviewing the issue and requirement was clearly communicated and making the required changes in 3D Experience SolidWorks done by Yagnik very smoothly. So once you have created or you have completed all the assemblies, the next task is to create marketing content. So throughout the period, we have seen that all the team members are engaging and creating the component. But after designing an amazing product, you need to able to share the imaginary with the external stakeholders and vendors. So luckily, we have the design and rendering solution in 3D Experience SolidWorks, which can be help us to creating visualized content by using SolidWorks Visualize Connected. We can use SolidWorks Visualize Connected to create beautiful promotional images and animations. So throughout the session, let me summarize all the things that we are using Lean Team Manage for the quickly blind meeting agenda. We are highlighting issues and challenges. We have captured actions and assignments. For the part and assembly point of view, we have the life cycle and data management on the cloud tool and the seamless design collaboration between any team members and a powerful yet easy to use sketching, 3D design and assembly capabilities. For the issue and change management, we collect, monitor and process reported all the issues. We have visual 3D markup to clearly communicate between all the team members and quickly overcome the problems with the engineering change actions. So here I would like to end my session. If you have any query from your end, you can ask me.